Drop it.
You know, nowadays it's all remakes and reboots and whatever else. People in the gaming industry have just run out of originality. So what do? They ruin a franchise is what they do. Spyro the Dragon, Sonic the Hedgehog, Banjo-Kazooie, you get the idea. But it's good to see that there are still some franchises that have stood the test of time, you know. They were around then, and they're still around now. Like, for example, the Devil May Cry games. Do you remember these? These kicked so much ass back in the day. And even though I only own the first two games, I'm still a big fan of Devil May Cry. And it's one of those few gaming franchises today that have been left alone like it should be. That have managed to avoid the hand of being Hey, what's this? Oh no. Oh no. Devil May Cry's been rebooted. It was good while it lasted, I suppose. Let's just get into this. There's no use in ignoring the elephant in the room here. This is the game that's going to debut Dante's new look that's gotten so much hate. His black hair, his scrawny legs, his raggedy clothes, his hair. When this game was first announced, the negative response was extreme.
He looks like a f***ing retard.
And I'm not gonna lie, I was among those angry people at some point. To the point where I actually made a trailer analysis back on one of my old accounts.
So basically what we have here is an emo junkie teenager by the looks of it. Hurrah, her frickin' raw. That's really what the series needed, isn't it, Ninja Theory?
But you know what, since September 2010, the new look has grown on me a lot. Looking back, the long white hair does look a little bit silly. Get a haircut, you hippie, what are you doing with yourself? Once you get over the look, the concept of a Devil May Cry reboot is probably a good idea. Know what else is a good idea? Cutting to the chase and getting on with the review. So that's what I'm gonna do, get on with the review. DmC follows Dante, who after finding himself in limbo, finds himself being hunted and attacked by a bunch of monstrous demons. With the help of a girl named Kat and his brother Virgil, he must break himself out of limbo while going after Mundus, the king of the demon world manifested in human form, who rules over the world by plunging it into debt and other stuff. Plus he also ate the beating heart of Dante's mum, so that's probably pretty annoying for Dante. Bottom line, the story is pretty decent and has some really creative ideas. It does a good job of keeping the story going throughout the game's 20 chapters, without feeling like there's too much filler in between. As for Dante, he more or less acts like the same old Dante, albeit a little less mature and slightly more Nathan Drake.
I'm 1,200 years old!
You don't look a day over 12,000.
Oh, snap!
And speaking of which, Dante's one-liners will have you rolling your eyes, but it's easy enough to let it slide, as the game doesn't take itself seriously enough to care. Not only that, but when the story seems like it's about to get unnecessarily complex, Dante speaks for all of us.
It's a vial containing a spell I made from a variety of...
I don't need to know.
Thanks Dante, just get to the gameplay. But at times, the story seems to make subtle remarks, which really threw me off guard. For example, one level in particular is centered around virility and energy drink in the game, with the words obesity, stupidity, and consume littered everywhere.
Obesity, stupidity, drink virility.
I know it's relevant to Mundus' plan and everything, but it kinda seems like Ninja Theory's trying to tell me something. It seems a little preachy and it doesn't mesh with the rest of the game in my opinion. Am I stupid, Ninja Theory? I buy energy drinks all the time. Am I stupid? Yeah, probably. The Devil May Cry games are known for their crazy combat combos, so the combat in DmC was anticipated with bated breath. But I can say that the combat in DmC is awesome. Granted, everything does feel simplified to begin with, as triangle is the only primary attack button that you start out with. But as you progress through the game, it advances and becomes more complex. And by the later stages of the game, every button combination seems to do something, and it starts to become the kind of game where you need to keep a tab on what everything does. This is either through gaining new weapons in the story, or upgrading Dante his swords or guns at the Divinity statue. And at times like this, shooting spiders to collect and grind orbs for the Divinity statue is where it really begins to feel like a Devil May Cry game. In fact, a lot of the game still feels like a Devil May Cry game. The camera switches and pans as you walk down corridors. Boss battles are crazy, they have those life bars behind the life bars kind of thing, so you gotta kill them like 3 times essentially. And the boss battles are really where the game shines. Because while some of them are a little cheap and disappointing, you can't deny that they are creative as hell, almost on a Suda 51 level. If there is anything you're going to end up taking away from DmC, it is the insane boss fights. It's a shame that they aren't as frequent as they are in the older games, and there's only 6, which sounds a lot, but it's actually not. But once they come around, they're fun. I guess. But nevertheless, the combat definitely has some flaws. One minor complaint that I did have is that everything was unlimited. Nothing has to regenerate or warm up again. But then something else came into the game that has to regenerate. So that's kind of been took down a notch. I was going to complain that you have like a million really strong weapons and you don't have to regenerate or anything. You can just keep slashing and hitting. And it's kind of like in Borderlands 2, you have that skill perk. Every time you use it, it has to regenerate. You can't just, you have to time it. But it is a hack and slash, so being overpowered with a bunch of weapons is kind of the point. So I'm going to let that one drop. But one thing that I'm not going to let drop is the absence of lock-on, which can really muddy up the combat at times. Take this chapter for example. You got to run to the end of this giant corridor tunnel thing and you have to dodge the enemies and get to the end because you don't have time to fight them. But when you try to run past them, this happens and you fall and you die, and it's like, I don't want to fight him, game. Don't make me lock onto him. I don't want to fight him. It can also be really annoying when you want to take down a specific enemy in a crowd of enemies, but you instead it just goes for someone else, ruins your combo. And it doesn't happen too often, but when it does, it's really annoying. Visually speaking, DmC is amazing. Being a console that's nearing the end of a generation, the graphics sometimes look a little off and some textures don't really mesh on the face as well. But some of the open areas of the game look incredible. Dante's facial animations are pretty authentic in the cutscenes too, and it makes it kind of easy to forget that you're watching a bunch of polygons. Sure, it isn't exactly LA Noire, but I was impressed nonetheless. Overall, Devil May Cry is a game that everybody expected to suck, but it is a surprisingly good game. Devil May Cry is a game that knows what it wants to be, an insanely stylistic hack and slash with an attitude. And really, in an age where games seem to copy and paste all their ideas, a hack and slash that generally hits all the marks is very much welcome. If you're a Devil May Cry fan, you owe it to yourself to pick this up. And if you're one of the stubborn complainers, grow up and give the game a chance. Thanks for watching. Want to keep up to date on all the latest Farfetched news? Then go to my Facebook page. There might be an annotation. I don't know if I can do that yet. Send a message my way. Tell me something. Tell me what your favourite flavour of ice cream is. I don't care. Well, I do care. My favourite flavours: chocolate, ice chocolate, chip, ice cream, mint. That. Anyway, check out the annotations on the left to check out more of my other reviews and top 10s, or click the Farfetched icon to subscribe. If you think I'm worth a subscription, then please do, because it really motivates me and I get so excited every time I see a new subscription. Anyway, I'm gonna go play a little bit of Tomb Raider. I haven't seen a lot of Tomb Raider in recent years. What happened to that series? Oh no, actually the new Tomb Raider reboot looks really good, so yeah. See you next time. Possibly the worst I've gotta go I've ever done. They ruin a franchise is what they do. Oh no! I didn't know I look like Curtains McGee. I would have been good.